welcome to a new Cloudasta tutorial. Imagine your employees could have a 24/7 HR advisor to handle complaints, check vacation policies, and reply to HR questions. With Gemini Enterprise, you can create an expert HR agent to handle all queries, even sensitive ones, without compromising data privacy. Today, we will show you how to build an instant HR advisor in Gemini Enterprise using a smart system of specialist agents. To build a multi-agent system, we always start with the brain, the orchestrator. This is the only agent the user will interact with, and it will delegate all the work to its team. We start by going to the agent library and selecting New Agent. Then click directly, Proceed to Builder. This will take us to the Agent Flow Designer. We'll first name it Instant HR Advisor and add a description. Then we move on to the instructions. As we mentioned before, this agent will have a number of sub-agents that will handle different tasks. Its first job is to identify the user. Gemini Enterprise agents get the login email of the user by default. And in this step, we are asking it to use the native Cloud Identity Connector, also known as People Search, to obtain the user's information from the company directory. We also add a contingency step in case the agent can't find the user's data. Next step is to greet the user, and the third step is to analyze the question and direct it to the correct sub-agent. In this step, we are giving it the criteria to determine which sub-agent will handle the task. If the question is about general company policy, hand it to the Policy and Document Expert sub-agent. If the question is about the user's personal data, use the Personal HR Data sub-agent. And if the question is sensitive or they require a human, pass it to the HR Escalation sub-agent. For the last step, we add a loopback in case the user has more questions, so that the agent goes back to the beginning to process the new query. To finalize this orchestrator agent, we need to add connectors and give it a knowledge base. The connectors give access to the agent to different functionalities. You can have standard Google connectors such as Gmail, Calendar, and Drive. Or you can have custom connectors given by your Google Cloud admin. For example, you can have a connector that links your agent to your CRM data. In our case, we only need to add the native Cloud Identity Connector or People Search Connector. In the Knowledge section, we give it access to the specific documents and folders it will need to perform all tasks. The sub-agents will also have access to this knowledge. So we add our Master PTO Tracker, Master Expense Reports, HR Complaints SOP, all the policy documents, and the employee contracts. Don't worry, employees will only be able to access the information of their own contract due to Google's native access control. We will explain more when we build this sub-agent. For this demonstration, we are using placeholder Google Sheets as our data sources. However, in a real-world production environment, while general policies can live in Google Drive, you would connect your agent securely to your HR system's API or a secure GCP data store to ensure privacy for personal data. This connector would be provided by your IT team. Now we have the option to add personalized conversation starters that will show when we start a chat with our agent. The orchestrator now knows exactly which specialist to call for any type of query. This is a clean, robust, and scalable design. Next step is to build the sub-agents that will perform each task. First up, the Policy and Document Expert sub-agent, Knowledge Base Expert. We first give it a name and a description. Now, for the most important part, the instructions. In step 1, we tell it its function. For step 2, we tell it what source of information to use. In step 3, we tell it how to perform the task. It will receive the query from the user, search in the defined knowledge base for the answer, and return with a clear reply. We also add a contingency step in case it can't find the answer. Our final step for this sub-agent is to select its connectors. We will select Google Drive. This will give it access to read the policies. Next, we'll build a specialist that handles private data. As this sub-agent will handle sensitive personal information, we need to clarify how this data will remain private. Gemini Enterprise's native Google Drive connector is designed to automatically understand and enforce the sharing permissions you've already set on your files and folders within Google Drive by using Google Identity for access control. Let's build this sub-agent. Again, we click on Add Sub-Agent under the Orchestrator box. After giving it a name and a description, we start with the instructions. In the first step, we tell what its function will be. We want to make sure that it will handle the data securely. Then, we tell it what information it'll receive from the orchestrator. In the third step, we specify what sources of information we want it to use. We have the employee contracts folder, the PTO tracker folder, and the expense reports tracker. For the fourth step, we tell it what to do with all this info. We instruct it to analyze the query and recognize from which source it would need to get the information from. Then, to use that query to find the relevant information in each different source. And to finalize the instructions, we tell it to present the information to the user and what to say in case it can't find the answer. To finalize this subagent, we add the Google Drive connector to give it access to the knowledge we specified before. Finally, the most critical specialist, the escalation agent. This tool will receive sensitive questions and proceed to escalate the issue with the HR department. Again, to start, we give it a name and a description. In the instructions, we first tell it what is its purpose. Second, we tell it how to behave when it gets called. It will consult our HR complaints SOP and obtain the data points necessary to present a complaint to HR. On the third step, we ask it to gather the information from these data points in a conversational manner. On the fourth step, the instruction is to create a draft email with the Gmail tool with the specific structure we are giving, presenting the issue to escalate to the HR department. Its final instruction is to reply with a reassuring message. To finalize this subagent, we add the Gmail and Drive connectors so that it can draft the email and access the SOP. Now we have finalized the whole structure of our HR advisor agent. We click Create, and at this point we can share this agent with specific people or groups. Our sharing request needs to be approved by a Google Cloud admin. Or if you want your agent to be available for the whole company, your Google Cloud admin needs to deploy it. To do this, they simply need to go to Gemini Enterprise in GCP, then Agents, select the agent you want to share, and under the User Permissions tab, go to Add User and select All Users, then click Save. Now, let's see our multi-agent system in action. Just a quick reminder that the user needs to enable mail actions before using the agent, otherwise it won't be able to prepare the emails. First, the most important test, a sensitive query. We say something like, I have an issue with a coworker that I need to report. The agent gathers the data points and then automatically prepares the email to send. Perfect. Now, a personal data question. We prompt how many PTO days do I have left? As before, it finds the info with the subagent and we get a precise answer. Finally, a general policy question. We ask it, how does our work from home policy work? And see that it finds the information and presents it in a clear way. And there you have it. In just a few minutes, you've built more than an agent. You've architected a secure, intelligent, and trustworthy HR system that provides instant help while protecting your employees and your company.